This sign means A. There is a 35 miles per hour speed zone after the curve ahead. B. Drive no slower than 35 miles per hour around the upcoming curve. C. Approach the upcoming curve at a speed of 35 miles per hour or slower. C. Approach the upcoming curve at a speed of 35 miles per hour or slower. Warning signs are usually yellow with black markings. They alert you to conditions that are immediately ahead. These signs may be accompanied by speed advisory plaques that indicate the speed with which you should proceed. Double solid yellow lane markings mean that A. Neither lane may pass. B. Both lanes may pass. C. The lane to the right may pass. A. Neither lane may pass. Yellow lane markings indicate a separation of lanes where traffic is traveling in opposite directions. When you see double solid yellow lane markings, passing is prohibited from both directions. While driving on a roadway with a single broken white centerline. A. You must stay within your lane. B. You may cross the centerline to change lanes. C. You may change lanes only from the left lane. B. You may cross the centerline to change lanes. White lines between lanes indicate that the lanes are traveling in the same direction. Broken white line markings indicate that it is legal to pass another vehicle when safe. The best thing to do if you become tired while driving is to A. Stop to rest or change drivers. B. Drink coffee. C. Open a window. A. Stop to rest or change drivers. If you become tired while driving, it is best to stop to rest or change drivers. Being tired dulls your mind and slows down your reactions, making driving hazardous.
Want to ace your DMV test? Click on the link below and get your guaranteed cheat sheet.
A driver should A. Stare directly in front of their car. B. Only focus on the middle of the road. C. Watch beside, ahead, and to the rear of their car. C. Watch beside, ahead, and to the rear of their car. A driver should watch beside, ahead, and to the rear of their car. To be a good driver, you must know what is happening all around your vehicle. This sign means A. Do not drink and drive. B. Slippery when wet. C. Road curves ahead. B. Slippery when wet. Warning signs are usually yellow with black markings. They alert you to conditions that are immediately ahead. This sign warns that the roadway is slippery when wet. When displayed on the rear of a vehicle, the sign shown indicates A. The vehicle is being drawn by an animal. B. The vehicle is traveling at speeds of 25 miles per hour or slower. C. The vehicle makes sudden stops. You exit the freeway on a ramp that curves downhill. You should A. Slow to a safe speed before the curve. B. Slow to the posted speed limit for the freeway. C. Wait until you have entered the curve to begin braking. A. Slow to a safe speed before the curve. You should always slow down before entering a curve. You may not be able to see hazards ahead, and braking in a curve may cause your vehicle to skid. Before you enter an intersection, you should look to your A. Left, your right, then your left again. B. Right. C. Left. A. Left, your right, then your left again. Before you enter an intersection, look to both the left and right for approaching vehicles or crossing pedestrians. Look to your left a second time, as vehicle approaching from your left will be closer than those approaching from your right. Look across the intersection before you start to move to make sure the path is clear all the way through. You should always travel A. At the speed of vehicles surrounding you. B. At the speed limit. C. At a speed appropriate for road and weather conditions. C. At a speed appropriate for road and weather conditions. The speed at which you should drive your vehicle depends on road conditions, the weather, and the legal speed limit. You may never drive above the legal speed limit. Decrease your speed when anything makes conditions less than ideal. When approaching an intersection with a flashing red light, you must A. Come to a complete stop, yield to oncoming traffic and pedestrians, then proceed. B. Reduce your speed and proceed with caution. C. Come to a complete stop and remain stopped as long as the light is red. A. Come to a complete stop, yield to oncoming traffic and pedestrians, then proceed. A flashing red traffic light means the same thing as a stop sign. When arriving at an intersection with a flashing red light, you must come to a full stop and proceed when it is safe to do so. It is more dangerous to drive at night than during the day because A. You cannot see as far ahead at night. B. The road is always more slippery at night. C. Your reaction time is slower at night. A. You cannot see as far ahead at night. With decreased visibility and the glare of oncoming headlights, you cannot see as far ahead at night as you can during the day. Always use headlights and exercise caution when driving in the dark. If your car becomes disabled while on the highway, you should A. Stop in the right lane. B. Park with all four wheels off the traveled highway, if possible. C. Stop where you are. B. Park with all four wheels off the traveled highway, if possible. If your vehicle becomes disabled, you must, if possible, park with all four wheels off of the main traveled portion of the road. There is no crosswalk and you see a pedestrian crossing your lane ahead. You should A. Make eye contact with and then pass the pedestrian. B. Slow down as you pass the pedestrian. C. Stop and let the pedestrian finish crossing the street. C. Stop and let the pedestrian finish crossing the street. At an intersection where traffic is not controlled by traffic signal lights, drivers are required to yield the right-of-way to pedestrians within any crosswalk, marked or unmarked. Even if there is no crosswalk, yield to the pedestrian. When driving near a shopping center, in a parking lot, or in a downtown area, a driver should A. Increase their speed. B. Decrease their speed. C. Come to a complete stop. B. Decrease their speed. Drivers should exercise extra caution in some driving scenarios. They should decrease their speed when driving near a shopping center, in a parking lot, or in a downtown area. At a railroad crossing, you must A. Watch for vehicles that must stop at all railroad crossings, school buses, trucks carrying hazardous materials, etc. B. Watch for multiple trains. C. Both of the above. If your vehicle begins to skid, you should A. Ease up on the gas pedal. B. Brake as hard as possible. C. Turn off the ignition. A. Ease up on the gas pedal. If your vehicle begins to skid, release the accelerator or brake pedal to regain vehicle balance. Steer in the direction of the skid to regain control of the vehicle. When passing another vehicle, A. Pass the vehicle as slowly as possible. B. Drive at the same speed as the vehicle you are passing. C. Pass the vehicle as safely and as quickly as possible. C. Pass the vehicle as safely and as quickly as possible. When passing another vehicle that is traveling in the same direction as you, pass quickly to resume visibility. Return to your previous lane only when you can see both of the vehicle's headlights in your rearview mirror. Alcohol in any concentration is A. A stimulant. B. A depressant. C. Neither of the above. B. A depressant. Alcohol, in any concentration, is a depressant. It slows all nerve impulses and bodily functions, resulting in a lessening of inhibitions and negatively affecting a consumer's ability to concentrate and stay alert. To drive defensively, you should A. Always drive more slowly than surrounding traffic. B. Consider risk management at all times. C. Never drive without a full tank of gas. B. Consider risk management at all times. Driving a motor vehicle presents dangerous risks. To minimize the risks, you should constantly use risk management techniques, such as communicating with other drivers by using your turn signals, responding to road conditions in real time, and otherwise generally driving with caution. This sign means A. Pedestrians walking along the road ahead. B. Pedestrian crossing ahead. C. Pedestrians must not cross here. B. Pedestrian crossing ahead. Warning signs are usually yellow with black markings. This sign alerts drivers to where pedestrians may be crossing. If a pedestrian is crossing in a crosswalk marked with this sign, drivers must stop and remain stopped until the pedestrian is no longer in the crosswalk. This road sign means A. Steep grade ahead. B. The road ahead winds with a series of turns or curves. C. Slippery when wet. C. Slippery when wet. Warning signs provide notice to road users of a situation that might not be readily apparent and are usually yellow with black markings. This sign warns drivers to be careful when driving under wet conditions, as the pavement will become slippery and more difficult to navigate safely. This sign means A. No U-turn. B. No turning. C. No left turn. A. No U-turn. This sign indicates that you may not make a U-turn. You cannot turn around to go in the opposite direction at an intersection where this sign is posted. You may be able to identify an aggressive driver by A. Their erratic and improper lane changes. B. The number of passengers in their car. C. Their tendency to drive slowly. A. Their erratic and improper lane changes. While driving, You should remain aware of the actions of surrounding drivers. If you notice an aggressive driver nearby making erratic or improper lane changes, you should not challenge them. The safest way to handle an aggressive driver is to get out of their way. Turn off your high beams when driving behind a vehicle at a distance closer than A. 300 feet. B. 400 feet. C. 500 feet. A. 300 feet. When driving in the dark, high beam headlights should be used any time there are no other nearby vehicles, weather permitting. Switch to your low beam headlights when following another vehicle at a distance closer than 300 feet.